Hey guys, I'm back with you this time to work on graphing, specifically pictographs. All right, so we've got our first pictograph here, and you can see why it's called a pictograph. It's because it shows a graph using pictures. And in this one, the symbol that they chose to use is a pumpkin. First thing we want to look at is the title. The title tells us what this graph is about. So now it makes sense, a pumpkin harvest. And then the next thing you want to look at is are the categories. So all down the side here we have, it looks like people's names. So each person is a category: Danny, Jacob, Ray, Edwin, and Alex. And then next you want to look at the different items. And like we said, they're representing each item as a pumpkin in this graph. So then you want to go down to the key. This is very, very, very important. Your key tells you what each of those symbols is worth, how much it represents. So every time you see a pumpkin, you think 50. It says every pumpkin equals 50 pumpkins. So before I go to answer my question, I want to show my work on this graph first. So I'm going to start with Danny, and I'm going to count and see how many pumpkins Danny harvested. So if I'm counting by 50s, so I see he has 1, 2, 3, 4 pumpkins that he's showing. So if I'm counting by 50s, that's 50, 100, 150. Danny harvested 200 pumpkins. Then I'll go to Jacob. Again, counting by 50, I have 50, 100, and then I have a half of a pumpkin. That just means you cut the number in half. So instead of 50, it's 25. So Jacob had 50, 100, 125 pumpkins harvested by Jacob. And then we come down to Ray and we count his. He doesn't have any half pumpkins, so we can continue to skip count by 50s. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Ray harvested 250 pumpkins. Then we go down to Edwin. And if I pay attention to where Edwin ends and see where we just kind of with Ray ends, you can actually save yourself some time, because Ray, we know, harvested 250 pumpkins. And then you can see just by looking that Edwin harvested 25 more than that. So we're at 250, 25 more would be 275. Last is Alex, who it looks like Alex and Danny harvested the same amount. So they both have 4 symbols of pumpkins. So that means they both skip counted by 54 times. So that's 50, 100, 150, 200 again for Alex. Now that we've shown our work, we can answer the question. How many pumpkins did Danny harvest? Easy. I showed my work, so I can just go back and look at Danny, and I see I figured out 200 harvested pumpkins for Danny. So our answer here is 200. All right, so on this one, again, you want to read the title first, get to know what the graph is about. Varieties of apples in a food store. And then you read your categories: Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Red Rome, McIntosh, and Jonathan. So it sounds like those are the different kinds of apples. And then we see the symbol they used is an apple in all of the items. And at the bottom, the key actually made it a little easier for you because it already told you what half of an apple will look like and how much it's worth. One whole apple represents 10 apples. Half an apple is the same as 5 apples. So how many Golden Delicious apples were in the store? So show your work, and then in the comments, I want you to comment and tell me how many Golden Delicious apples were in this store. So here we have name that number, taking a break from doing the multiplication facts, wanted to get some practice in with just saying these bigger numbers out loud. So every time the number comes up on the screen, just say it out loud. Have someone with you to check and make sure you're saying the number correctly. For example, I see this number, I say 5002.